Now, Zimbabwe is looking to boost its ZiG currency. The Southern African nation plans to do this by overhauling its tax system. For the last nearly 4 years, a policy has been in place for businesses to settle taxes in the currency most traded in, while the new system will be more specific in terms of the ratio of taxes that need to be paid in the ZiG. Azwi Langalanga, a senior analyst at Tutwa Consulting, joins us with a closer assessment of this plan. Azwi, thank you for your time this afternoon. Hello.
Hello, Mtonti. Thanks for inviting me.
Wonderful, Azwi. Let's get right into it here. We know that the ZiG is a new currency. We know that in the past, the Zimbabwean government has released, I think, 5 different attempts at boosting the currency. Will the ZiG hold?
I'm not too optimistic that the ZiG will hold, because I think it will encounter the same problems that the other 6 or 7, 5 attempts before it encountered. So the ZiG was introduced on the 5th of April with the idea that we were informed that the ZiG is undergirded by gold reserves. So the gold reserves are the ones that should give it the value. And we know that Zimbabwe has for the longest of time suffered from a shortage of gold reserves and also of foreign currency reserves. So they informed us that the currency is undergirded by about $600 million of foreign reserves, and also about I think they said something like 3 tons of gold. And we know Zimbabwe produces a lot of gold, so this is supposed to be what gives the currency the value. However, we are not optimistic because besides these gold reserves that they are saying is the one that it gives the value to the currency, with the Zimbabwean system, because of the governance challenges there, the governing party, ZANU-PFS, it controls the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe in a way that it's difficult to even take for granted that take at face value these gold reserves that we are informed are the ones that give value to the currency. We have seen in the past how much of gold smuggling happens in Zimbabwe, also by actually being done by the elites. So no one actually knows how much gold reserves Zimbabwe has and how much foreign currency reserves that they have. So these 2 main issues are the ones that really, at a practical sense, that these are the ones that make it difficult to actually have confidence in the currency itself. So when the citizens and when the other countries that trade with Zimbabwe do not have confidence in that currency, there is no way that it would be sustainable as a currency for the country itself and for the trading partners of Zimbabwe.
Of course, there's also then the plans to have the tax system really overhauled, or maybe even more specific instructions, provisions being given in terms of the ZiG. Might that be a boost for the ZiG?
Yeah, I think there's sometime last week, the Zimbabwean Treasury Department decided that they would pass a bill that says that about 50% of taxes have to be paid in the ZiG currency. This is assuming that businesses in Zimbabwe trade on the ZiG. We have seen that there's been efforts to retrofit and actually shove the ZiG down the throats of businesses in Zimbabwe, with the security agencies going around supermarkets forcing people to trade in this currency. So it is difficult to see how this tax system would actually work in practice, because what is really happening is that there is a lot of trading in other currencies, the multiple currencies, the main ones being the rand, South African rand, and the US dollar. These are the currencies that people are trading on in the informal sector and also in the formal sector, because the Zimbabwean authorities have not totally done away with the trading in the US dollar. But also, most importantly, maybe linked to this taxing of businesses in the ZiG currency. it baffles one's mind because the Zimbabwe imports most of its goods and services, and the ZiG cannot be used outside Zimbabwe. So one does not understand what they intend to do with the ZiG that they will collect from their own businesses, because they will have to buy fuel, they have to buy a lot of stuff you find on their retail shelves. They are imported really mainly from South Africa, and they'll need the South African rand or the US dollars to be able to trade with that currency. And the last time I checked, the African system and the SADC system of payment had not really yet also accepted the ZiG as a currency. So it's difficult to really understand how that taxation, because when you are taxing as a government, you then want to collect that revenue and use it to use on your balance of payments. So it's difficult to understand how that is supposed to work in practice.
Azwi, I must get your thoughts here, because of course, you know, based on the conversation we've had here today, at some point we do need to see some form of currency that will hold for Zimbabwe. There, is it possible that this is completely impossible, given light to the political state and the political environment there? Would the politics have to give way in order for the economy to do better?
Yes, indeed. So what needs to be fixed really is the political environment, the governing environment. It has to inspire confidence in a way that then any currency that can be introduced can have that confidence and trust from the Zimbabweans themselves and the trading partners. Because if you look back at how Zimbabwe got to where it is today, it was, I think, around 97 when Zimbabwe sent troops to the DRC without approval of parliament, and they spent a lot of money that they didn't have. They actually had to print money to do that. And as a result of that, the currency lost a lot of currency. I think it lost about 74% of value. Then later on, they paid their former Liberation War veterans. Also, this money was not budgeted for. They had to print more money. And that further made the Zimbabwean dollar at the time lose a lot of currency. And they did the land reform exercise also, which was also another issue. But over time, really, all these actions, when you look at them cumulatively, these are some of the actions that then totally eroded the confidence that people had first on the governance, because the value of the currency also is tied closely to the governance of the country, and that is the issue. So the ZiG cannot work as a currency and be sustainable without the governing environment having been improved. So that is really the effect of the economic situation there.
Well, Azwi, thank you for shedding light on this one for us. They're certainly more complex than what we had thought. That was Azwi Langalanga, Senior Analyst at Tutwa Consulting.